Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the recovery plug. What's happening, man? I hope you guys are doing good today, man. I know my day's going okay. It was a little struggle, but today's doing all right, I guess. But check this out, man. If you would please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers, and for those of us who are still bound down to some sort of struggle, man, that keeps us from moving forward in this toxic life that we live in, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you would please join me in a moment of silence. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. All right, man. Well, check this out, man. You know what? I found this. Well, I didn't find. This thing here that I want to talk to you about today came across my path today that I found very interesting, and I would like to share it with you guys. And this is something that was picked up over at one of the many things that I do in my journey of spirituality and recovery. You know, I've attended many different communities and involved myself in different things. And this thing here, this exercise here, is just one of the things that got shared with me today. And I figured, you know what, man, I want to share this because I thought it was really interesting, and it's something that I'm going to incorporate into my own life, into my own journey, my own practice of, spirituality and recovery, right? And so what I wanted to do is share that with you guys, and perhaps that, it's just, another great tool, man, to put into your recovery arsenal to, help you move forward in this toxic life that we live in. And you know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip these glasses on real quick because I can't read a darn thing without these suckers, man. So check it out, man. I'm going to put these on, read you what I got here, and, talk about it a little bit. See if hopefully it's helpful for somebody needs to hear that today. So here we go. What this thing says is, this is an interpersonal effective tool. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically guidelines for objectives and effectiveness. You know what I'm saying? In getting through things, it's a good communication tool. You know what I'm saying? And it's a way to remember these skills is to remember the term. They call it dearman, and dearman's an acronym which is used to describe the word describe, express, assert, reinforce, mindful or stay mindful, appear confident, and negotiate. And what I'm going to do is behind each one of these words, each one of the letters of that acronym there's a definition. I want to share that with you guys, and they kind of elaborate on that a little bit. So here we go. The first one is describe. This says describe the current situation if necessary. Stick to the facts. Tell the person exactly what you are reacting to. You told me you should be home by dinner, but you didn't get here until 11. The next one is express. Express your feelings and opinions about the situation. Don't assume that the other person knows how you feel. When you come home so late, I start worrying about you. Use phrases such as I want instead of you should. I don't want instead of you shouldn't. And the next one is assert. And this is assert yourself by asking for what you want or saying no clearly. Do not assume the other person will figure out what you want. Remember that others cannot read your mind. I would really like it if you would call me when you are going to be late. It's one of the examples, and these examples that it's giving is just one example. You know what I mean? You can put this dearman acronym in many different facets of your life. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything as easy as, I don't want you to be on your phone this much, or you're not paying attention to the kids, or I'm not paying attention to myself, or or you're drinking too much, or I think it's you're even anything so minute as I don't like that you leave things laying around, or You need to wash the dishes, whatever, right? But anyway, it's just a good way to communicate what you are trying. It's just an interpersonal connection, to communicate with somebody, right? And the next one is reinforce. It says reinforce, reward the person ahead of time, so to speak, by explaining positive effects of getting what you want or need. If necessary, also clarify the negative consequences of not getting what you want or need. I would be so relieved, a lot easier to live with if you don't do that. Remember also to reward desired behavior after the fact. That one right there is kind of, I don't know about that one, dude, because that one kind of almost sounds like a reverse psychology, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, and it's also saying to reward somebody, you know what I mean? And I don't know, this is my personal opinion. I might have a little problem with that, you know what I'm saying? To do something by expecting a reward isn't doing it out of the goodness of your heart. You know what I'm saying? That to me isn't a good merit or transcendental merit or whatever. You know what I mean? So that one, I got a little. You may disagree. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's got their own opinion. That's just mine. But anyway, here we go. So the letter M. It's keep your focus on your goals, maintain your position, don't be distracted, don't get off topic. Broken record, quote unquote. Keep asking this or saying no or expressing your opinion over and over and over. Just keep relaying the same thing again and again and again. Ignore attacks. If another person attacks, threatens, or tries to change the subject, ignore the threats, comments, or attempts to divert you. Do not respond to attacks. Ignore distraction, just keep making your point. I would still like a call. You know what? That one there is, to me, that one's kind of a borderline, thing to do on that one. I mean, yes, you're being mindful, but I wouldn't continue. This is just my personal opinion on this one here. I wouldn't continue keep saying it over and over and over again, because I think to me that's kind of like adding fuel to the fire, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I think if I was in a situation like that, I would probably need to back off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come back when I'm a little bit more clear-headed, or a little bit more not so much inflamed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or come at it a different way. You know what I mean? That maybe there's like it said in the other one, you can word things different to not have so much tension in the conversation. You know what I mean? And that's a really good practice. But anyway, the next one is appear confident, appear effective and competent. Use a confident voice, tone, and physical manner. Make good eye contact. No stammering, whispering, staring at the floor, retreating, no saying, I'm not sure, etc. That one's kind of a weird one, man, because I know myself personally, I'm not like this aggressive type dude, you know what I mean? When I'm conversating with somebody, I'm really passive, calm, and collective, you know what I mean? My voice isn't one of authority, you know what I mean? Because it's just not me, you know what I mean? I'm more of just that, hey man, you know what, we can get along, you know what I mean? I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? And I just find it more effective for me to be confident in that way, versus to be, use confident voice, tone, and a physical manner, make good eye contact, because I don't want to hover over you, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to present myself like I'm a threat, you know what I mean? So the appear one for me would be more of putting myself in your shoes. I'm just like you. You know what I'm saying? I'm no better than you are. I'm not stronger than you. I'm nothing. We're equal, you and I. And we can communicate. And whatever you say, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt if it's something like that. And if not, I'm showing love and compassion. You know what I mean? I just believe it's a more effective way to communicate. And again, the next one is, the last one is the N. It's negotiate. Be willing to give to get. Offer and ask for other solutions to the problem. Reduce your request. Say no, but offer to do something else or to solve the problem another way. Focus on what will work. How about you text me when you think you might be late? Turn the problem over to the other person. Ask the other person the other solution for another solution. And then it goes on to say, what do you think we should do? And I can't just stop worrying about you. I'm not willing to. And sometimes you have to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes, because if you keep going with the, it says here, offer and ask for other solutions and say no, but offer to do something else to solve the problem. I think that to me is more of enabling somebody in whatever the situation is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that that's a good, in my personal opinion. I mean, it's just not something I would do. I would revert to something else that would still give them an ultimatum, but it's either we interact this way in this healthy manner, or I'll have to sever that conversation or that topic, or possibly in some cases that relationship. You know what I mean? I know for me, you know, personally, when I was in the world of addiction, I had to sever everything in my life, 360 degree, man, everything, people, places, and things. I had to sever it so that I can have an interpersonal effectiveness of my own for myself to move on and to find a better way to live. You know what I mean? And you know, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes it can get that, the water can get that muddy sometimes. You know what I mean? And by doing little practices like this dearman, you know, tool, you know, they don't make these things, they don't do these exercises. And this is a thing here, it goes like that. I don't know if you can see that, but hopefully you can. And that is the first page that we read. I want to show you that so that you could possibly, you know, push pause and take a picture or whatever. And this is the second part of those acronyms right here and definitions. So yeah, and anyway, so I don't believe, you know, they put these types of skillful this is a type of skillful means. You know what I'm saying? It's a type of a skillful means to work on that communication, that interpersonal connection that you have with yourself and someone else, so that you can, you know, move past some things. You know what I'm saying? And make it an easier road, because we'll never be able to get rid of the suffering of our toxic life, but we can pave the road so that the road is a little bit smoother than the one you're on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's just and that just goes back to exercising your practice of your spirituality, of your compassion to oneself, and to show that good merit. You know what I mean? I that just is just my thoughts. You know what I mean? And because I know a lot of the time that I hey, you know, if I put myself back in a couple of years back when I was in the midst of the street life, you know, with the drug addiction and the whole using drugs, selling drugs, all that kind of stuff, then there's dude, I would not have been caught red-handed with one of these in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Or talking about it like this. There's just no way that this doesn't work for that environment. You know what I'm saying? I would have started, you know, this is like fighting words. You know what I'm saying? The homeboys would be like, no, homeboy, hold up. You know what I mean? So I like I said, you have to sometimes sever things. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be willing, open-minded, and truthful, and change sometimes people, places, and things, man, because it all depends on you. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on you, how you want to maneuver your life, how you want things to work out for you personally. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it starts, man. You got to start with you first. You know what I mean? And I had to realize that. I had to start with me first. I had to dig deep in here, man, and tug out that heart and soul, man, and pull it out and lay it on the table and see what was it that I needed to clear up. You know what I mean? And the only way that I could do that was by sharpening my thought process. You know what I'm saying? I had to really sharpen up my thought process with all these different practices and spiritual connections, man, because when you do that, that is like a sharpening stone for your mind. You know what I'm saying? And the more I sharpened up my mind, I was able to get that thought process that was just like this in this ball. You know what I'm saying? My thought process was in this hard ball, and I only thought one way, and it was my way or the highway. You know what I mean? And when I was able to get all this wisdom and knowledge of different communities, different spiritual communities, different religions, and just different illuminated people that had gone before me, and that were you know, ex-addicts or whatever, and now are on this real, you know, great road or whatever. But that sharpening of the mind allowed me to chop that up in many different pieces, and now got my mental thought processes spread out where I could see everything, and now I could, you know, start moving it around. It was just like it was chopped up in so many little pieces. It was like putting back a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? If you ever put a puzzle together, your first thing you do is you spread out all the pieces, and then you grab all the same colors and put them in a pile. Reds here, blues here, greens here. Every piece that has an edge over here, every piece that's a corner over here, and now you got it spread out, and you got this roadmap of how you can maneuver this puzzle. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I had to do with my mental thought process, so that I can maneuver my life in a good way like that. So now I could see with my mind, with my thought process just scattered out in many pieces, I could see the parts that I needed to, you know, discard, the parts that I needed to, you know, add something to, or the parts I needed to nourish, and then just gradually start molding that mindset back up, man, and boom, you know what I'm saying? And when you do that, you get into, that's when the changes of addiction were no longer there for me, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's got their own way, their own road, you know what I'm saying? This is just one of them, my brothers. This is just one of them. And, you know, exercise like this, they don't give these things out if they don't work. They do studies, they do tests, and it's a proven effective method. That's why it's being used, you know what I mean? And I decided to share it with you guys. And again, you know, it's just one of the many things that you can add to your recovery arsenal, you know what I'm saying? And I like it, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing this, you know what I mean? I'm going to start incorporating that into my daily routine, and where I could use it, I got this new tool that I got in my recovery arsenal, and I could pull it out at any time, and I'm gonna see how it works, you know. And we maybe in another video, you know, a few weeks from now, we'll come back to it, and I'll give you a few results and maybe a few scenarios where I caught myself using it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's great, and but it's just one of those things, man. I wanted to share with you guys. I figured it would be helpful for somebody out there. Maybe somebody is struggling with that type of communication, man. Maybe this will help you. You know what I mean? So I know that I've been in that situation, like, oh man, where were you? How come you didn't come home, right? You know what I mean? That kind of thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I understand that, you know, firsthand, you know what I mean? But anyway, man, I really appreciate you guys watching and tuning in to this short video, man. It's just something that I wanted to throw out there. I figured it'd help somebody out, man. I really appreciate that. So I guess that's going to be it for this video, man. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you would, please, at this time, give me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate that, man. Just know that when you do hit that subscribe button, man, it don't cost you a thing. It don't cost you a thing at all. But you know what? You will be helping out another veteran, man, another homeless person, another person dealing with PTSDs, childhood traumatic experiences, trauma, depression, anger issues, sadness, grief, all of those types of things, suicidal thoughts, all of those types of things, man, because I have dealt with all of those things at one point in time in my life, and guess what, man? I know a way out, and my way out could be your way out. So until the next time on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.